Thank you again to Kelly for providing us with these challenges for HR month. We really love having real world scenarios to do our data prepping challenges on. So let's take a look at this one. So we've got two inputs. As you can see, this one's the employee table, and it's the employee ID and the GUID that we want to kind of be focusing on for this challenge. So we can see there's some null values in each of these fields, and we can see that we don't always have both the employee ID and the GUID. And if we take a look at the other data set that looks at the distribution centers and which employees are in there when, then again we have the similar issue with nulls sometimes. So we can see on this row, for example, we've got a GUID, not an employee ID. On this row, we've got an employee ID, not a GUID. So that's annoying, that's frustrating. So we're going to create our lookup table. So we're literally just grouping by employee ID and GUID and doing the same here, grouping by employee ID and GUID, and then unioning those two tables together. We're not going to need the table names, so we'll get rid of that in the next step. And then we've also done a filter as well. So we see that we've got nulls here, we've got nulls here. We're just going to filter that to see we don't want any null values in employee ID and we don't want any null values of the GUID. So that just gets rid of all those nulls and helps us out. But we do have some duplication there sometimes, so we just need another aggregate step to group on the employee ID and GUID, and now we've got the distinct combination of all the employees, so we know that there's 537 employees from our employee input here. We can see we've got 537 rows, so that's great. That looks like the right number of rows to have. So let's go and join that lookup table back with our data. So we'll do it first of all on the GUID. So making sure that we're doing, in this case, a right join because it's our dimension table that's on the right and the lookup table on the left. So we're making sure it's a right join. So we're getting all 537 rows coming through for our employees. And then what we want to do is we want to merge these two fields together. So our employee ID and our employee ID-1. So we can just pick that up and drop it on top. We can't do that in a join step, which is why it's not letting me do that, but I do that in the next step. So I do that for both the employee ID and the GUID. We see that we've still got some issues with the GUID, so we need to repeat that step of making that join to the lookup table, this time on employee ID, so we can fix the issues with the GUID. And again, merging those fields together, we can now see that for each of our 537 employees, we now have a unique GUID and a unique employee ID. Awesome. So we need to just repeat those steps for that distribution center table. So we make sure to join on the GUID first of all. Again, making sure that we bring through all those records and keep those flowing through, merging, joining on the employee ID, merging, and then we reach our endpoint where we just need to output both of those data sets. So thanks very much to Kelly again for bringing us this challenge, and thanks to Abby at the Data School for testing this workflow whilst we've had some kind of holidays and busy times in our own personal lives. So thanks for that help, Abby, and thanks very much to you for watching.